Because what is that investment actually going to do? Well, you're going to hear more about that today but what these workers do is they discover, they educate, they provide care, and they prevent and act in emergencies. In labs and research settings across this country, these workers are discovering cures and treatments for diseases that threaten us all. In schools and campuses, they're educating and helping to elevate the knowledge of future generations. In clinics, hospitals, and public service facilities, they're delivering care to people who need it. And in dire straits, from outbreaks of viruses and forest fires, these are the people who put themselves at risk to protect the rest of us. And that's who Trump and Musk and a bunch of kids without any real world knowledge and experience are trying to get rid of. Trump and Musk, whose genius is in putting their name on work and breakthroughs of other people and charging rent for it. Well, hands off. This money is the public's, and we demand that it be used for the public good. Not one penny less. No, I firmly believe that for us to meet the incredible challenges and realize the potential of this country, we need so much more public investment. That's why we've got to unite across our unions, across our kinds of work, across our communities, to stand up, to speak out, resist these attacks, and defend the services and work we do for the people that we serve and work for. And with that, I'm going to bring up our first speaker, AAU President Todd Wolfson.
Good afternoon. Say it with me now. Hands off our health care.
Hands off our health care.
Hands off our research.
Hands off our research.
Hands off our jobs.
Hands off our jobs.
One more time. Hands off our health care.
Hands off our health care.
Hands off our research.
Hands off our research.
Hands off our jobs.
Hands off our jobs.
Good afternoon. My name is Todd Wolfson, and I'm president of the American Association of University Professors, National Vice President of the American Federation of Teachers, and a faculty member at Rutgers University. We're here today because we refuse to stand by while Trump and his billionaire allies destroy the institutions that keep people alive, gut the research that saves lives, and strip workers of their jobs and their dignity. And this is not the first time that we have watched Trump attack the very people who keep us alive, workers, educators, and researchers, gutting the public health and higher education systems that stand between us. Not long ago, he and his cronies slashed pandemic funding, leaving hospitals and frontline workers scrambling to save lives with fewer resources. Boo! Now they are hollowing out the NIH, CDC, NSF, and many other federal granting institutions, cutting the legs out from under every American and everybody who's trying to keep us safe. Excuse me. Thank you. And this isn't just about numbers, it's about whether people live and die. These cuts mean cancer patients left without hope, Alzheimer's stealing more loved ones, diabetes going untreated, and heart disease taking lives that could have been saved. It means doctors and scientists forced to abandon research that could cure the next deadly disease. Shame. It means students training to save lives will have their futures ripped away before they even begin. And it means thousands of workers, the researchers in the labs, the nurses at the bedside, the educators in the classroom, the custodians that keep our hospitals running, thrown into uncertainty, struggling to make ends meet, all because billionaires decided their profits matter more than lives. I want to make this really clear to everyone. Trump's reckless cuts will kill. Trump's reckless cuts will kill. If you've ever had a loved one who needed a breakthrough cancer drug, if you ever relied on a vaccine to protect your family, if you ever counted on doctors having the best research at their fingertips, you should be furious. Because the future of medicine is now being dictated by men who see human life as expendable in the pursuit of their wealth and in the pursuit of their power. This isn't about streamlining government or reducing waste. This is about consolidating power at the expense of working people. The America that Trump and Musk are trying to create is not the America I was brought up to believe in and fight for. The America they want to forge is cruel and cold, laying off workers with no severance, cutting funding to healthcare, education, and critical social services that every American needs, punching down on women and people of color, immigrants, and the LGBTQ community.
It's going crazy up here.
These are the actions
Doing a little
of
vlog right now.
weak people. But in response to their cruelty, in the last few weeks, I've seen something very different. I see a country where people want to care for one another. I see people who don't want to punch down, but instead are ready to stand up and fight for America that stands for all of us. And alongside that, I am calling on every single politician, red state and blue state, who claims they stand with working people to prove it. Stand up for our health care, stand up for our jobs, stand up for higher education. And let me remind them of something. We are in every city. We are on every campus, in every hospital, in every lab. And we are not backing down. So if you are angry and you're ready to fight, let them hear it. Say it with me. Hands off our health care. Hands off our research.
Hands off our research.
Hands off our job.
Hands off our jobs.
We are here today, we'll be here tomorrow, and we'll fight for as long as it takes, because when we stand together, we win. Solidarity forever. And I think our next...
Okay, next up, we're going to hear from one of our affected worker leaders, Emilia Ventriglia.
Hello everybody, my name is Emilia. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a PhD researcher, and I study how the brain responds to antidepressants because we need to find better treatments for suicide prevention. I'm also president of our union of 5,000 early career researchers, UAW 2750 at the National Institutes of Health. You know, at the NIH, we are the world leader, the largest public health research institute. Our work at the NIH drives urgent research across the United States on things like we've heard, cancer treatments, chronic pain, addiction, Alzheimer's. Yet right now, that work is under attack. We're under so many freezes right now that stop the American taxpayer from receiving the medical advancements they paid for. This is theft of our future. It's theft of our education, of our science. It's theft of our health and our rights. There's hiring freezes right now that don't just put a pause on recruitment of the next generation of researchers. They're firing NIH researchers through a loophole of people who are recently promoted or are facing routine annual renewals. Every single one of these jobs lost means a cure that's delayed or a breakthrough that may never happen. The life-saving work that UAW members do at the NIH and at universities across the entire United States are being threatened. Nobody voted to halt cancer research. Nobody voted to cut life-saving treatments to heart disease. Diabetes affects millions of Americans. Is that a left-wing agenda? I don't think so. The American people rely on our work. Your families rely on your work. My mom relies on our work. This is about our health and our lives, and we're not going to stand while they try to tear it down. Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
I thought you were telling me to say it.
Next up, we have AFT President Randy Weingarten.
Can you imagine that we're even have to say that fighting cancer is not a left-wing fight? Fighting diabetes, Alzheimer's. How did we get to this situation that all of a sudden a president of the United States has taken a hatchet to this building, to the people who work in this building, whose single mission is to try and make people healthy? And look, yes, it's the oligarchy, but it's more than the oligarchy. Which is, think about why if you think about who's here, these are workers from a labor movement who are basically saying to the people in America, we, the scientists, we, the researchers, we, the workers, believe in you. Believe in what we do for you, and we are not going to stop fighting for you. That's not left-wing, that's not right-wing, that is America, and that is American values, and I am honored and proud to stand here and stand with all of these workers who are side by side with me right now. It's the craziness, the chaos, the confusion, the cruelty that has been visited upon America since January 20th is intentional, because it is about creating the space and the environment so that the powerful and the rich
Standing
can
on
take
business.
over.
Outside.
And we are standing here today to both educate and to advocate union members